Welcome to episode 9 of As Long as the River Flows, a Keepers of the Water podcast. Episode 9 picks up in part 2 of the series, Dene Nation Speaks Out on the 2023 Wildfire Devastation and why an independent inquiry is needed. In part 2, we hear from Chief Fred Sangues and Chief David Echinali, who both speak on the devastating effects of the 2023 wildfires, the need to train Dene people to fight fires and protect their communities, the devastating effects the wildfire had on wildlife, and the need for traditional knowledge to be introduced into disaster response. We pick back up with moderator Bill Erasmus introducing Chief Fred Sangues.
14 communities were evacuated, and the Hay River, West Channel, Hotlet Day Tree Reserve was evacuated twice, and people went to a whole number of destinations in Alberta, Manitoba, British Columbia, and many of them didn't know if they had a home to come back to. So we want to hear what people have to say. We have Chief Fred Sangues, Yellowknife's Dene. He also had to evacuate. Go ahead, Chief Sangues.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you all, everyone, Francois, Billy, everyone on Musty Cho. I think this inquiry that we're talking about is really, really key for all of us. As you know, the forest fire here is because of the climate change that's happening, not the cause of indigenous people, but the cause of industrial world who impact our indigenous world, who are having a real impact on us. Those people, I believe, are responsible for it. They haven't been listening to the scientists who said that climate change is real and then it's happening and we should be paying attention. Indigenous people like ourselves, we know that the climate change is real. We're the ones who are out there, we see it, we live it, we see it all the time. And it's real. It's happening all over the world, from Italy to Greece to California to here. Fire is a big cause of global industrial. It's happening because of that, not because of us, indigenous people. We're the caretakers of the land. We're the takers of the environment, and we've been doing that for a long time. But here, with this summer's wildfire, as a chief, both chiefs are yelling at Dene. We don't believe that GNWT did the proper job. We don't believe that they did a real key things, and we don't believe that they communicated properly. Evacuation happened very fast pace. The call went out. The urgency went out. People were driving out. Fires on both sides of the highway to Behchoko. Kids screaming. Parents yelling for their children. They have no idea what was happening. It panicked people. The premier and the government who chose to do it this way panicked people, and they should never have done that. That was a really, really wrong panic, the way they done it. Here in Dettah, in the community of Ndilŭ, we're in charge. The government, GNWT, we get programs and service, we get a few dollars, but they are not our government. We have a nation-to-nation relationship here. The premier can never call upon evacuation from indigenous people. Again, the only relationship we have with them is programs and service and a few chunk of dollars we get from them. And they take all the money away from us. And that's where the problem is. I believe that we should have a call on inquiry. GNWT may do it, but they may not have a public process, because it's embarrassment that the way they done it. And there's a guy named West who was coordinating a forest fire, but he was not a firefighter. He was a journalist, a firefighter wearing his clothes, but also a journalist. He went on Up Here magazine and put out his story, how the whole event went. Right away, GNWT wanted to cover their tracks by having an Up Here magazine and lay out how the forest fire went out. That's not the way it went out. Don't let that Up Here magazine put a blind on your ears, on your eyes, because that's what they're doing. A lot of devastation took place here. The problem with GNWT is that they don't have very good firefighters here, none. And the firefighters, crew bosses were telling us they had to yell at the firefighters, young guys. JWT for a very long time have been recruiting high school students to go on the land and fight fire. And one lost his life, right? One lost his life in fire. Maybe a few of them lost their life in fire. That's because they're not fully trained. And they can't do it, so they call on Africa. And they can't do it, so they call on the military. GNWT made a big mistake here. They've done it before 20 years ago when I used to be a firefighter in Ndilŭ. And one of the guys said, we're going to backburn this place here so we can shut the fire off. And they did it, and they made a big mistake. Us firefighters like ourselves, Aboriginal people, we said, no, don't do it. The wind's going to turn around. Look at the big hills here. You know, you're not using traditional knowledge. And a lot of this time is science. And science is now always accurate. So what happened? Ndilŭ almost got burnt because they made a mistake on backburning. So that community had to evacuate about 10 years ago. Now it's happening again. So GNWT doesn't have a good plan or a good training. It's just not good. You know, when you have firefighting and politics together, one of them is going to go down. Which one? And it's always been that way. The best solution I see is that we go to Ottawa, like Francois said, let's get enough money to train 100 people in Yellowknife, Dettah, get enough money to train 100 people in Ndilŭ, Dene, all over the Northwest Territory. People should not have to run. I saw that. At Sir John Franklin, there was thousands of people line up. I went there. I counted like 200-300 very healthy, strong people that could stay and be trained and fight back the fire. Instead, they were shipped all out. So when there was no firefighters, no one's available, they called in the military. This government, GNWT, is so embarrassing. They are really embarrassing. They have not done anything good. At Behchoko, a lot of our people there, house burnt. They did the same thing. The firefighters said, they told us to monitor the fire, not to shut it out, but to monitor. That's not the way you fight fire. And at 5 o'clock, they're telling people you got to go home. That's not how you fight fire. Fire does not know 5 o'clock. When I was firefighting 25, 30 years ago, we were firefighting around the clock. 2 crews, 12 hours each. And we did it till the fire's out. Now they walk home. They're told to go home. It's 5 o'clock. Come back tomorrow. It doesn't work like that. What's wrong with this moolah, the way they plan things? What they really need is indigenous leadership, indigenous people to use traditional knowledge and tell the government, this is how we'll fight fires. We're the ones who've been cooking over the fire for thousands and thousands of years. We know the fire behavior. We know how it behaves. Science can't tell you everything. And GNWT, by the way, it's been used science. They said the land is good when it burns. Well, how long does it take my medicine plant to burn? How long does it? I have to wait to my medicine plant over there to get aged so I can use it. Those reality, GNWT doesn't know those kind of things. They don't know. The wildlife here, north of Yellowknife here, Dettah, there's a big fire. East of here, there was a fire. West of here, there was a fire. So where's all the wildlife now? Who's going to feed us? Who's going to take care of us? We're having a very, very difficult time here. Even though we spend over $1 million of our own money to evacuate, to help our own people to survive in the cities, because they flew people to a city and they basically were abandoned. So we had to step in as the leaders to take care of our own people. And some of those are non-Aboriginal people. They're not even our own people, but we took care of them because they were abandoned by the government. Nobody's feeding them, looking after them. A lot of things went wrong. Government knows it. That's why they don't want to do an inquiry. Shane Thomas was the minister in Ndilŭ when that was happening. When they put this to the vote at legislative a few weeks ago, and there was a tie whether to have a inquiry or not. Former ENR minister Shane Thompson voted no. He should have never voted no. He should have said, yes, I was responsible. My department was responsible. We should talk about it, what went wrong, and what we should do next time. How should we do it? You got to stand up and for your own sovereignty and take care of your own community. If you run, you're going to have 18 houses or 20 houses burnt. And who's going to replace them? That's the problem today. Inquiry, yes, I want it. On the Commissioner NWT, yes, I want her to say yes. We need to have an inquiry. We need to find out the truth, what took place, and somebody's got to pay for it, and somebody's got to be responsible for that. Thank you so much.
And so again, we have Dene leadership here speaking about the 2023 fires that happened. The Dene Nation has called for an independent inquiry into the handling of the fires. They sent a letter to the Commissioner of Northwest Territories, and the Commissioner will then take this to the Governor General. What we've been hearing so far are conversations on what are causing these fires. How have they been handled? We've been hearing all kinds of horror stories. We've even heard things that the RCMP knew about these fires and were evacuating their families before the communities were even being told. These are the kinds of things an inquiry needs to look into. So what's causing the fires? How are they handled? And what plans are in place to make sure this doesn't happen again? Next, we're going to hear from Chief David Echinali, the traditional chief of Shita Gotenai. Chief David is a traditional knowledge keeper and respected elder who has worked to advocate for the rights and protection of the lands and Dene language and cultural practices. Thank you, David.
Ane kagun tere dasi chibi vere dasi re jani gune zoye kena tokire ane zoye kevela ken. Edu tere kagun tere fed sengi ka titirisin se gai peti. Rese dasi ayune tere ni tere ti disi ayune tere ayune tere ja ona ja. Ega tere to karamen edega ni tini yaitu tere gastri kuri ibe kena tate ti sinbe una te fan tere to una karamen una te fan. The saying of that was at the net hand, but with that one shows that day, you can nearly win iron near. Fred saying with that since USA guy, Piati. Haniga National Chief, Dene Nation, go Cavetta. Tell who that I see can go perennial, no, yet at an heco day, that go Tia United, no return to not the Disney, but go. I know how to have another. Kama tengo que rapia, yo no sé, será persona vos tenés que decir será por la si hay un poco te decimos una especie. Si no es muy muy la que costa, se le guru, I'm going to try my best about this fire. I'm really concerned about it because really nothing to say about it already. Everything's happened. Right now, I don't know what to talk about. Before this happened, we had to talk about this kind of stuff like that. Whatever is going to happen to our land. Because it's lots of food for us then. We live with it. Now I go out on the land, I went across to my fish lake. There's a big area burned. I don't know how many animals burned. How about the beaver, muskrat, rabbit, everything. All the moose. This kind of thing we have to talk about it. What President said is true. A lot of people sitting on this kind of stuff like that don't know nothing about the land. In our traditional way, our elders used to tell us everything about this kind of thing to respect each another, to respect the animal, to respect the land. That's what they told us. And right now, the government, what's government doing to us, trying to get rid of us, bring all alcohol and drug to our community and destroy our young people. Even the people who are not sick, they're still getting the income support. They don't want them to go out on the land. That's what they're trying to do to us. In the old day, a lot of people talk to us, not only our dad, our mom, everybody. When we're doing something wrong, they always tell us not that way. They tell us to have a good life. That's all they talk to us about it. Now nothing. And now the fires all over, everything burned. I don't know what to say about it. And a lot of people, how do you call it? I don't know how you say it. Take people out because of the smoke. And I heard territorial government have meetings. They said they spend how much million dollars. Whose fault is that? When the fires start burning, they should do something about it. And then they're not going to spend that much money. In old days, not like that. Before territorial government, when the fire on the land, we walk to it. We carry a piss pump, we carry a hose, 25 cents an hour. We put the fire off. And after the territorial government took over, all the area burning, not doing nothing. All this kind of thing, we should really have a good talk about it and make people understand why the Dene Nation is there, why the territorial government were voting for territorial government. In each community, we don't know nothing about it, don't see nobody. They always say the treaties got the power, and a lot of us, we're still holding our treaty. Seems like government don't turn around to us, nothing. So I really got nothing to say about this. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you for letting us know. David, can you talk a little bit about some of your people had to leave Tolita, and I believe they went to Ndilŭ. They went there at their own expense. I believe people had to go on their own because they were not evacuated. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, territorial government, when the fire started, and people will move, they move all the people out of here by plane, and some by boat, and some of us we went on our own. That's the one you want to hear about, or?
How long were you in Ndilŭ?
I think it's 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks. I think that's why some of us, we didn't went to the Dene Nation Assembly in Smith, because we can't go out by boat, travel on the Mackenzie River. So the only thing we had to go on the Bay River, so they haul people from Toledo to Ndilŭ by boat, and some of them, they went by themselves. The whole was smoky. We can't see nothing, even down to on the shore. So some of the people, they stay here because never know what's going to happen. But they want to know. They want to protect some stuff in our community. So that's why they didn't win. I wasn't going to go, but my family, they told me to go. We'll take care of it. So that when the same thing happened to me when the fire started above our cabin in Tomahawk Point. When we were flying around, they didn't even turn around. They just went over. That's it. It was the forestry. And they told me, David, we'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. So that's why I didn't took nothing out of my cabin, our cabin. We lost everything. And now I don't know if they're going to return everything for us, but that's why I'm trying to I asked the Dene Nation to support me. And Danny is the MLA too, the territorial government, so I talked to him. But like some people said, when you talk to that person with the phone, just like behind the door, they're not going to do nothing. Said you had to write a letter to them and to all the Northwest Territory, to all the leaders. The only way they had to work on it, they said. Well, I got nobody to write a letter for me, so I just phoned some of my friends. That's it. But that's what they told me. Even you, lots of time I phone you, and Jerry Antoine too. They say, yeah, but till today, nothing happened. And that's all. Thank you.
That was Chief David Echinale, and before that, Chief Fred Sangways. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to hear the full webinar, check out the Keepers of the Water Facebook page or the Keepers of the Water YouTube channel. Don't forget to download and subscribe to be the first to hear new episodes. If you'd like to donate to the cause or find out more about Keepers of the Water, check out our website at keepersofthewater.ca. Miigwech.